The ECAM system monitors all aircraft systems and alerts the crew to any abnormalities. If something abnormal is detected, ECAM will alert the pilots and provide an electronic checklist to help handle the abnormality. The two ECAM displays, the EWD and the SD, are where the ECAM system provides normal and abnormal system information to the pilots. Color coding is used on the ECAM screens for clarity and to aid identification of abnormal parameters. The main colors used are white, blue, green, amber, red. During the course, you will become familiar with the use of this color coding. Let's start with the last three, green, amber, and red, which are the most important. Green is used to indicate a normal condition. Notice that on the engine warning display and the system display shown, all indications are normal. Amber is reserved for abnormal indications that require crew awareness but not immediate crew action. Notice on the EWD the amber failure message and on the SD the amber indications. Red is reserved for serious parameter exceedance and warnings that require immediate crew action. Notice on the EWD the red parameter indication and the red warning message. Let's now look at the two ECAM displays in a little more detail. The EWD is divided into two main parts. The upper area is used for the main engine parameters, fuel on board and slat flap position. Under normal conditions, the lower part of the EWD is used to display memo. In the example shown, the memos indicate that the seat belt and no smoking signs are switched on and that the APU is available for use. If failures occur, warning caution messages are displayed in place of the memos. In the example shown, there is an amber caution message with a series of blue action items. These action items are your electronic checklist to respond to the particular abnormal situation. The SD is used to display particular system information. In the example shown, the cruise page is displayed. This is the page normally seen for the majority of the time that the aircraft is airborne. Information that is useful during flight from several systems is displayed. The individual indications will be covered in the appropriate system modules. The SD can also be used to display synoptic diagrams of the aircraft systems, system pages. In the example shown, the hydraulic system page has been called. You will see later how these system pages are called either manually or automatically. An aircraft status page may be displayed on the SD to check the state of the aircraft. A normal message is displayed to indicate that the aircraft state is normal and that there are no inoperative systems. Let's see what the status page looks like when things are not normal, for example, following a system failure. The information displayed on the status page will vary depending on the failure, but as an example can include limitations, approach procedures, including actions and corrections, information, inoperative systems. The area at the bottom of any SD contains permanent data: total air temperature, TAT, static air temperature, SAT, time, gross weight. Under normal conditions, the ECAM system provides the pilots with the information that they need to know for the particular phase of flight, no more, no less. As an example, during the approach when the landing gear is extended, the ECAM wheel system page is automatically displayed. The ECAM system divides the various stages of a flight into phases, from initial electrical power-up until after the engine shutdown. The ECAM system will avoid alerting the pilots unnecessarily during the critical flight phases of takeoff and landing. The warnings and cautions that can be delayed until a less critical phase of flight will be inhibited. We will now look at the different ways that the ECAM system advises you when things are not going exactly right. We will start with the minor advice indication and work up to a major fault, concentrating on the two ECAM screens. If a system parameter, for example an engine vibration level, approaches a limit, the ECAM system will advise you of this by displaying the relevant system page on the SD. The affected parameter will pulse. Notice that at this stage, the parameter is still shown in green since it is still within normal limits. This is known as an ECAM advisory. Now let's look at what happens when ECAM detects a minor system failure. When a failure occurs leading to a loss of redundancy or loss of a system that does not affect the safety of the flight, for example, digital flight data recorder fault, the ECAM system will inform you by displaying an amber caution message on the EWD. At the same time, the two clear keys on the ECAM control panel will illuminate. The first action is to ensure that the aircraft is on a safe flight path. This fault only requires crew awareness, so if required, the handling of the fault can be delayed. Normally, the pilot not flying carries out the ECAM procedure, while the pilot flying is responsible for the aircraft's flight path. For this exercise, you are the pilot not flying. Read the title of the failure, in this case, Recorder DFDR Fault. The pilot flying will ask you to perform ECAM actions. UAL SOP. The captain will determine who flies and who does ECAM. In this case, there are no actions required, so after confirmation from the pilot flying, the caution message can be cleared by pressing one of the clear keys on the ECAM control panel. Press a clear key. As a result of pressing either clear key, the caution message has been cleared from the EWD, and the status page is displayed automatically. In this example, you can see that the inoperative system is the DFDR, Digital Flight Data Recorder. On the ECAM control panel, the status key is illuminated, along with the two clear keys. When safe to do so, the status page is reviewed by both pilots. After confirmation from the pilot flying, the status page is cleared by pressing either the status key or one of the clear keys. Clear the status page. Notice that on the EWD there is a boxed STS caption to tell you that there is information on the status page. On the ECAM control panel there are no lights. The ECAM actions for the DFDR fault are complete. The UAL standard response is ECAM complete, screens normal. We will now look at what happens when a slightly more serious fault is detected by ECAM. The fault that we will use is an overheat of the blue hydraulic system reservoir. We will concentrate on the use of the ECAM system, how it alerts you, and how it helps you to deal with the fault. The hydraulic indications themselves will be covered in the appropriate modules. When the fault occurs, the ECAM system alerts the crew orally and visually. You will hear a single chime and see the master caution lights. To cancel the master caution lights and reset the alerting system, one of the master caution push buttons must be pressed. Extinguish the master caution light. The master caution is extinguished and the alerting system is reset. The first priority is always to ensure the safe flight path of the aircraft before dealing with the fault. The master caution means that the abnormal situation needs crew awareness, but not immediate action. The indications are a failure message on the engine warning display. The system synoptic associated with the fault is automatically displayed on the system display. The clear keys on the ECAM control panel light up. Let's study the details on the EWD first. The system title is underlined, in this case hydraulics, and the fault is shown alongside, blue reservoir overheat. Notice that abbreviations are used. If you look carefully at the hydraulic system display, you will notice an amber overheat message. This abnormal indication is how the fault is shown on the system synoptic. The pilot flying will ask you to perform the ECAM actions. In this example, there is a blue action line on the engine warning display telling you to switch off the blue electrical pump. Let's check the overhead panel. On the overhead panel, an amber fault light has illuminated on the hydraulic control panel. The fault light on the hydraulic panel helps you to locate the switch to be operated. We will carry out the action for you. When the pump is switched off, the action line is removed. The blue hydraulic system depressurizes, as shown on the hydraulic page by the amber indications. The ECAM system detects the drop in pressure and generates a further alert.